I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time.
Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight.
24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because he's undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford.
In a live interview, Terence Crawford spoke confidently about Floyd Mayweather and his own legacy. He said Floyd's era is over and made it clear that this is his time now. Crawford stressed that Mayweather's reign has ended and the spotlight should be on him as the current face of boxing. With conviction, he presented himself as the fighter leading the sport for today's generation.
Because for Jake and Tyson and some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson do that again.
Floyd Mayweather reminded fans that he had already outclassed Canelo Alvarez when he was the older fighter, showing his superior skill and experience. He argued that Terence Crawford's win over Canelo should not be treated as an extraordinary accomplishment, since both of them earned their biggest victories against the same opponent. For Mayweather, this proves his victory was the greater one, and Crawford's does not put him above his legacy.
Hell of a fighter. He's a hell of a fighter. And everyone is now saying that he's not the same fighter. He's not looking the same. Now remember this.
Sounds familiar.
No. I was older than Canelo is when I beat Canelo. So now imagine seeing Canelo at 36 and me at 36 and we fight. And now what y'all gonna say? Well, now he got what? I don't know how many fights he got.
Some analysts believe Terence Crawford cannot yet be put on the same level as Floyd Mayweather, because he does not have the perfect 50-0 record Floyd achieved. They argue that beating top names like Canelo Alvarez is not enough to surpass Mayweather's legacy. A challenge often suggested is for Crawford to move up in weight and face David Benavidez, a dangerous and physically dominant fighter. A win over Benavidez would not only show Crawford's fearlessness, but also prove he can handle one of the toughest opponents in boxing today. Until then, many experts feel Crawford's accomplishments will fall short of Mayweather's legendary status.
50-0, 24 world champions, 5 divisions conquered, best defender of all time, right? Bud Crawford surpasses him in accolades because he's undisputed in 3 divisions. Both of them are fighters that fought great into their late 30s. However, Floyd has a deeper resume than Bud Crawford, but both of their best wins are Canelo Alvarez. Canelo was a younger, greener Canelo when Floyd beat him. Bud beat an older, slower, but more seasoned Canelo. Now, Bud's not going to surpass Floyd because of the record. He's not going to make 50-0. Bud has to separate himself. What he has to do is do something that Floyd didn't do. Take on the challenges that people were scared for you to take. Just that's what separates Leonard and Durant from the rest. If Bud Crawford beats David Benavidez, he will surpass Floyd Mayweather as far as on the all-time list. As of right now, if Bud Crawford retires, I would have him somewhere around the top 5, tops.
Trainer Robert Garcia sees things differently. He believes Terence Crawford will not risk his legacy by facing David Benavidez. Garcia explained that Crawford is a smart fighter who understands how to secure his place in history without taking unnecessary chances. Benavidez has a major size advantage and presents a real danger that could threaten Crawford's unbeaten record. For Garcia, the risk is greater than the reward since Crawford already owns an outstanding resume and does not need to prove himself against someone outside his natural weight class. His view reflects the ongoing debate between chasing legacy-defining risks and protecting an almost flawless career.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, said that while Terence Crawford clearly outclassed Canelo Alvarez, the win should not be treated as the ultimate standard. He noted that Canelo was not the same fighter he once was, pointing out that his punches lacked their old sharpness and power. Jeff reminded that before the fight many questioned Crawford's competition, and even after beating Canelo some still downplay the achievement. He admitted the victory was impressive, but stressed it must be viewed in context since Canelo was not at his absolute prime, meaning the win does not place Crawford beyond all criticism.
Handle the power. Were you surprised that, didn't look like, maybe once or twice looked like maybe Crawford felt it, but never in any kind of real trouble?
Yeah, I don't think that Canelo really hit him. I mean, he hit him a couple times clean, but I mean, Crawford, Crawford's a big guy too. Crawford took it like it was nothing. I mean, and he hit Canelo a few times. I mean, and Canelo took it as well. So I mean, basically, at the end of the day, I mean, they both took decent shots from each other, but Crawford just didn't get hit as much as Canelo did.
Do you think that was a case of you can't Canelo's a guy that's not out there throwing huge combinations, that he's more of a punch at a time kind of guy, and that's not going to work against someone as slick and talented as Bud Crawford.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, basically, Canelo was looking for just one big shot, trying to land a big shot on Crawford, but Crawford wasn't having it. And Crawford at times would say, I guess he would say to himself, I need to, do a little more work. And basically, and it seemed like he just did that. And
Legendary fighter Roy Jones Jr. shared a critical view of Floyd Mayweather's legacy. He argued that aside from facing Canelo Alvarez, Floyd did not regularly fight the very best opponents of his era when they were at their peak. Jones questioned why Mayweather is often called the greatest when much of his record came against fighters who were smaller, older, or past their prime. He suggested that Floyd's legendary status is somewhat overstated compared to what he actually achieved. While acknowledging that an undefeated record is historic, Jones said the quality and timing of Floyd's opponents leave room for debate, especially when measuring him against adaptable fighters like Terence Crawford.
Top 10. Maybe top 10 in my book, yeah, but not top 5. Yeah. He's maybe top 10, but not top 5. Floyd can fight, don't get it wrong. Floyd can fight. But here's what my problem is. Well, I understand, I know you're a Floyd fan, but here's my problem. Who did Floyd fight that was on his level when he fought him? Only Canelo. That's it. Don't give me that stuff about the other guy that was going to prison. He know he going to prison when he get through. And then to take it even further.
He fought Cotto.
Cotto was not on his level. Man, wait. See, stop. Let me finish first. Cotto.
You asked me a question.
Cotto already was done. And Cotto an all-time great? No. Cotto's an all-time Puerto Rican great. Cotto's not an all-time great in the boxing.
I agree with you.
He's an all-time Puerto Rican great.
I agree.
All right, so that's not great. That's not on your level. Pacquiao. You waited till Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez before you fought him. If you'd have fought him 4 years ago, it'd have been something. Because both of y'all were here. We'd have found out who the best was. You waited till Marquez knocked him out, now you fought him. If I wait till somebody beat James Toney before I fight him, do I get credit for being the greatest fighter of all time because I beat James Toney?
No, you don't.
No, I don't. So my point is, you didn't do it the right way. You know that. Who else did you fight besides them best 2 names you can pull up besides Canelo?
What I'm saying is that who do you think around that time would have even beaten Floyd that he didn't fight?
So my point is, I'm not gonna say who
because
would
I can't name a person.
I'm not gonna say who would have beat Floyd. Like I said, I'm just saying Floyd never fought nobody that was of his equal. He didn't fight a James Toney. He didn't go looking for a James Toney.
An analyst pointed out the clear difference between popularity and pure skill. He acknowledged that Floyd Mayweather's global fanbase is unmatched thanks to his perfect record and huge pay-per-view success. But when it comes to talent alone, he suggested Terence Crawford might be superior. Crawford's natural southpaw style and rare ability to switch stances smoothly mid-fight make him adaptable against any opponent. This versatility has led many to believe Crawford's technical skills could be greater than Mayweather's. The debate raises a bigger question in boxing: should greatness be defined by worldwide fame and numbers, or by pure skill and adaptability inside the ring?
But the Jr., who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly while having great footwork? It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you.
Former world champion Shane Mosley gave a direct comparison between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. He pointed out that Crawford's natural size gives him an advantage Mayweather never enjoyed. Being the bigger fighter, Crawford can move through more weight classes while keeping his power and strength. Mosley explained that while Floyd was a master of defense and timing, Crawford's physical tools let him overpower opponents in ways Mayweather could not. For Mosley, this makes comparisons between them unfair, since Crawford's frame and natural build provide opportunities Floyd never had.
Out of those two, Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. Like he's actually, he moved in weight class, and I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can't knock him as well. He's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have had the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because it's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is there.
Jeff Mayweather reminded fans that when Floyd fought Canelo Alvarez, he was already past his prime. Even though he was older, slower, and not as sharp as before, Floyd still dominated Canelo with his defense experience and ring IQ. Jeff explained that this shows the difference between Floyd's win over Canelo and Crawford's. While Crawford beat a more seasoned version of Canelo, Floyd did it at a stage when he was no longer at his best, which makes his victory more impressive. For Jeff, this context proves Floyd's greatness is still unmatched even as Crawford continues to build his record.
That time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other two judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience. And he still took him, into deep waters. So
What was Canelo? What, 20 something? 20 what? 23, 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
how you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you were 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sure, and that's why Canelo is saying what he's saying.
To
make himself look like he did something.
Terence Crawford has addressed the comparisons with Floyd Mayweather by showing both respect and confidence. He acknowledged Floyd's accomplishments and admitted that his legacy is permanent, but stressed that Mayweather belonged to his own era. Crawford explained that no reign lasts forever, and each generation brings a new fighter to carry the spotlight. By saying this, he positioned himself as the face of today's boxing, while still honoring what Floyd achieved.
I have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
No. Nope.
No friends in this business for you.
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore. So that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you?
I think you got your answer there.
Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your ass?
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
Trainer Greg Hackett praised Terence Crawford for his win over Canelo Alvarez, calling it a victory that cemented Crawford's legacy as greater than Canelo's. Still, he made clear this does not place Crawford above Floyd Mayweather. Hackett explained that while the Canelo fight is career-defining, it cannot erase what Floyd achieved over decades. In his view, Crawford deserves full credit for such a dominant showing, but comparisons to Mayweather should be measured since Floyd's overall resume is far deeper and more proven.
Right now in the sport, that's supposed to be the man, you know, big bad wolf. You beat him, you the wolf. Now it's like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, who else I'm gonna fight? You beat the shark, you beat the wolf. Damn. Like, you know what I mean? Ain't no more ops out there. It's ops out there, but who gonna make them really want to get up? That's the
shit gotta make sense. Like you said, you be the shark, and then you be the wolf.
Yeah.
But there's the monster.
Yeah, there is, but that's like a real monster.
Bro, that's to me it don't make sense. But that's
really
what
a monster.
Yo, is that proof? All right, we got the legendary Pape in the building. Legend. But what makes sense? Like, what makes the most sense? I know you said get a line of suits, Brooks Brothers.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Get a line of suits, get your money, man. Go ahead and get the easy money, bro. You ain't gotta sweat no more.
What's up, boy?
Not saying you ain't gotta work, you ain't gotta sweat.
What's happening?
He's paved a career where he could sit down at a table and get this money. He could come out with a Terence Crawford series now, just doing whatever he like to do. People gonna watch it. Nobody, the fighting part, people don't understand what it's like to be a fighter. A lot of times the fighters really don't be interested in certain fights. It's cause when a guy see himself up here and then is fighting a guy down here, it don't interest him. So therefore when he train, he not gonna really train. He gonna train, but he not gonna train. He not gonna listen. He gonna feel like his coach taking it too serious and he like, man, this ain't even that. But your coach like, listen, you could get fucked up. I'm telling you. You don't want to listen. Then you go in there and fight that guy. Then you get I seen it happen.
Former champion Sean Porter discussed Crawford's win over Canelo on his podcast, highlighting how significant it was. He said Crawford didn't just meet the challenge, but completely broke Canelo down in a way few expected. Porter explained that the fight proved Crawford's skills translate across weight classes and against different styles. He showed adaptability, technical excellence, and mental toughness at the very highest level of the sport.
Jake and Tyson and you know, some people like the likes of Carl Froch viewed that as an endorsement. Like, look, man, I'm just working. It's a big opportunity to be on Netflix. I didn't put the fight together. I'm not paying these guys. So, you know, let's chill out. But all right, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I just don't know what CSI is. And the way it was presented made me think that there was like a secondary press release to come, that they'll be involved in like some sort of like virtual boxing thing. Like, it just didn't seem real. You know why it didn't seem real? I'll tell you why. There's no date attached to it. There's no venue attached to it. Forget rules, exhibition, not exhibition, weight. I mean, here's a guy who fought a heavyweight fighting forget all that. These things can get figured out, the fine details. The fact that it was announced, why announce something with no date or location attached to it? What's the point? Unless you're just trying to get people excited and trying to get them, you know, trying to get some investors or something like that.
But maybe also testing the waters. If the response was overwhelmingly positive, maybe you go, okay, we move forward. If the response is muted or negative, maybe you go, okay, we're not going to actually do this. You know, you lob it out there as a way to poll the public, and then make an adjustment.
You don't think it happens?
I do not think it happens. I just don't think there will be enough interest. I know they have huge name value. There's zero, after the last performance by Mike Tyson against Jake Paul, I don't think there's going to be interest in seeing Mike Tyson.
Perhaps the most historic milestone that sets Terence Crawford apart from most fighters is becoming the first boxer to claim undisputed titles in 3 different weight classes. This achievement showcases both his versatility and his longevity throughout different stages of his career. Very few boxers in history have managed to dominate so convincingly across multiple divisions. This accomplishment secures Crawford's place in the history of the sport and guarantees that even with comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, his status as one of boxing's all-time greats is already assured.
Terence "Bud" Crawford defeats Canelo Alvarez and becomes the first ever male 3-division undisputed champion in boxing history. Thank God the judges got this one right. But wow, what a technical battle this was. It was a very close fight, but as it went on, Terence was getting more and more comfortable in there. I remember in the 7th round, he even stood right in front of Canelo and fought him on the inside. Then in rounds 9 through 12, Crawford really started to open up on his flurries, gaining Canelo's respect. But the reason Crawford won this fight was because he was surprisingly durable at 168. He was able to do his thing because for the 36 minutes he was in there with Canelo, he was never really worried about what was coming back at him. I mean, Canelo just kept going to Terence's right side of his body, and that stung a couple times, but those were the really only hard shots Canelo landed. Unfortunately, this is terrible for Canelo's legacy because the smaller man beat him up, and Canelo's kind of been cherry-picking his opponents the last couple years. But well-deserved for Terence Crawford. It's gonna look amazing on his legacy. Boxing got it right tonight. On the biggest stage, with the most eyeballs, no controversy, just pure sport. And one of the best ever at the sport got it done tonight, Terence "Bud" Crawford.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for more.